Alright, so this is going to be the last one I'm be doing for today. This is going to be a medieval knight's chances of defeating a wild animals, right? So I should probably put up the parameters before doing this, right? So a medieval knight, we're going to put them in full plate armor. Let me just Google medieval knight. Okay, let me just yeah, I think we know what a medieval knight is. You know, this. I'm not going to go on Amazon, but I think we had the gist of it. Uh, we know what a medieval knight looks like, and to specifically specify, we're only going to use a medieval knight. The only weapon they're going to have is a broadsword. I think that's good enough. I don't think they would need like any other weapons like a mace or a poleaxe. I think just a broadsword would be enough. And they would be fighting all of these animals. Um, so tier maker, so right here gets killed in one strike. Doesn't die in one hit, but loses badly. Um, puts up a good fight. 50-50. Destroys a knight. So we're gonna put a snake. Well, let's just. This is pretty self-explanatory. It gets killed in one strike. So this is interesting. Technically speaking, a knight could kill all, if not most of these animals in one strike, right? Depending on where it is, because a sword is a one-hit kill weapon, depending on where it hits. So, like, the sword could literally decapitate half of the animals on the list. Um, with just one hit, right? And a knight has armor, has steel or iron armor covering their entire body, so they would be able to like take a lot of hits, but like the animals, one good sword swing, they're dead. So I'm just gonna say one good strike, that's it. Doesn't die in one hit but loses badly. These animals wouldn't die in one hit, obviously, pretty self-explanatory, but they would still get destroyed. Puts up a good fight, pretty self-explanatory. They would put up a decent fight. They'd probably scratch the armor, but wouldn't be able to win. 50-50, pretty fair fight, obviously. It could go up in the air and destroys a knight, pretty self-explanatory. So we get a snake. A snake gets destroyed. All the knight has to do is just step on a snake's head and then stab it with a sword. That's it. A snake wouldn't be able to pierce the armor, regardless if it's a boa constrictor or if it's a venomous snake. They would die in like one hit. Like the knight's shoes are covered in steel. They're not gonna bite through it. They're gonna die in like one hit. It's pretty self-explanatory. A whale would destroy a knight. Kind of unfair. I guess it depends on the territory. If this is in the ocean, obviously a knight can't swim, so a whale would obviously win. But if this is just like a whale on the beach, then the knight would just win. So it's pretty self-explanatory. But I'm just gonna put it would destroy knights. A cheetah. Um, I'm just gonna put it here. That looks like a cheetah. A cheetah is fast, but I think it's probably one of the weakest of the big cats. Um, it wouldn't die. Oh, I should probably put a tiger, and it's too late. Um, it probably. I'll just give it the benefit of the doubt. It could die in one hit, like I said. The broadsword could decapitate a cheetah in one swing, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't die in one hit, but it still loses badly. A crocodile or alligator, I don't care, is also in the same boat. No, actually, I'm just gonna put it here. The way that a crocodile is like designed, it can really only bite his legs, right? and his body is like is covered by steel armor, and it's not going to pierce through. I mean, maybe the bite force could, but it's not really going to do much. I do think the knight would destroy the alligator slash crocodile. Um, Probably all the knight has to do is just step on its mouth so it can't bite anymore, and just stab it in the back of the head with a sword. That's it. That's all it needs to be done. An elephant would destroy on a knight. All an elephant has to do is step on a knight, and that's it. Now you can make the argument that a knight could just outmaneuver the elephant, could climb on its back and then stab it in the head. You could say that maybe that's the case, but 9 times out of 10, a knight is going to lose to an elephant. It's just going to get stepped on. A frog gets stepped on, that's wouldn't be even a fight. It wouldn't be a question. A giraffe, um, it wouldn't die in one hit because it's kind of tall. I guess his vital organs are like up there. But I don't really see a giraffe doing too much against a medieval knight. I think the medieval knight would just cut its legs down with a sword. Kind of violent, but like I don't really see a giraffe doing too much. Um, Looks like a jaguar or a cheetah. I'm just gonna put in a good fight. If this is a jaguar, it probably has one of the better chances. Um, but I don't see it piercing through the steel armor. And also a knight again with a sword, like probably a few good hits and a cheetah or the jaguar or leopard is dead. I'm not sure if it's jaguar or leopard. I don't feel like looking. We'll just say it's both. We'll just put them together. A knight would be able to defeat jaguar slash leopard. A little bit more challenging than a cheetah, but still be able to defeat it. Now, I was going to put it in 50-50, and I know the tiger is not here, which is pretty egregious, but I'm going to put the tiger and the lion. I know they're two completely different animals with their own stats, but I'm going to put them together. I think a knight's... now, this is what first made me conceptualize this idea, because I saw a YouTube video. Could a medieval knight defeat a lion? I say yes. I think a lion would put up a good fight, but I don't see the lion biting through the metal, the steel armor, depending on like what knight it would be. I'll just give it the benefit of the doubt it's steel instead of iron. But I don't see a lion biting through the armor to really damage the knight. The knight needs one good hit to kill the uh lion. That's it. Like that's all it needs. It would put up a good fight, but I do think the lion would be the medieval knight would be able to kill it in like one hit. A parrot. I mean, if the knight can touch the parrot, it's all over. That's all it hinges on. It's all over. That's it. Looks like an ape or a chimpanzee. I don't care what animal it is. It's dead in like one hit. It's not going to be able to do anything to a knight in steel armor. One swing, that's it. A polar bear is a 50-50. This is another idea that made me think about this. Finally, the whole list is full. A polar bear is probably arguably the most dangerous type of bear. This is pretty close. I could see it going either way. I'm still leaning towards the knight. I think the armor and shield combination, I mean the armor and sword combination, I think there's no way a bear could pierce through the armor with just a swing of its paws. It's not going to be able to do that. Where I do think a knight could literally kill a bear with one hit, depending on where it hits, right? I think a knight could decapitate a bear with one swing. So, I think that's it. Um, it's kind of over. Pretty close. That's probably it definitely do better than a lion. So there's that. A seal probably wouldn't die in one hit, but would still lose pretty badly. It wouldn't really be able to do anything to damage a knight. The only reason why I don't say it ends up in the last tier is because it probably wouldn't die because of its fat. It probably wouldn't die in one hit unless it's decapitated, but it would still lose very, very badly. A sloth is slow, it would die in one hit, pretty self explanatory. A zebra, too. probably wouldn't die in one hit. I would give it 2 hits. It's generous. Unless it's decapitated, which I do think a sword would be able to do that. Unless it's decapitated, it would not be able to, defeat him. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So that's my tier list for animals. That's all my 3 options for now. So, yeah, only the elephant, obviously. I probably should put a hippo as well, but I think this is probably the best tier maker I could find. That's about it. Um, so I'm just gonna end, and hope you guys enjoyed my 3rd tier maker today.